Boys, NBL1 international coach. Ringwood facing the Eltham Wildcats. First up, NBL1 Ringwood to the floor, representing the Wildcats is 0-0, Margaret Morgan. Number 1, Vanessa Dennis. Number 4, Naomi Kennedy. Number 5, Kate O'Neill. Number 6, Megan Sell. Number 8, Chelsea Griffin. Number 10, NBL1, 11, Chelsea Shears. 13, Sam Hood. 14, Jordan Barton, and 22, WS. So the number of defence centre, he's just by name, not getting Peter Williams for Hogan, their team name is Brianna Hogan. He's pleased to welcome our girls under 14. Championship team this day, welcome our season team on the field. Thank you, Charlie, Mark, Madison, Sue, Kenny Lawrence, Olivia Lockhart, Jessica Townsend, Honey Hudson, Maddie Tucker, and the Colin Kendall. And now we're using for the Ringwoods. Number 2, National Harbour. Number 3, Amanda Humphrey. Number 4, Steve 7, Antonia Farnwood. Number 9, Laura Wilkinson. Number 10, Ella Asia. Number 11, Leah Haynes. 13, Hayden Joanne. 14, Gina Scale. Number 18, Carly Doherty. Number 22, Yuhara Ravi Puma. And number 24, Declan Morocco. Assisted by Peter Droger, Peter Henson, Peter Hitchens, J.A. and our team manager, Jim Guerrero. To please welcome our referees, tonight's name is Stephanie Dutcher, Gemma Terrell, and Katie Fox. And could I please ask you all to be outstanding to join with us in a few moments' silence, being hands up in memory of all those who bravely knew the day for our country.
Hello everybody and welcome. NBL1 action, the Rings Basketball Stadium on a Saturday night, and the first of our doubleheader, the Ringwood Hawks, currently undefeated 3-0. Welcome at the Eltham Wildcats 2-2 for NBL1. Of course, the Wildcats, after 2 wins to kickstart the year, had a tough road double loss leading into the Easter break, but now we resume and we start to get into the meat of the NBL1 season. Huge night ahead of us. We'll welcome our main man sitting next to me, 2 of our main men sitting next to me. We'll start with Mark Worthington, Olympian NBL superstar, once captain Australia as well, unbeaten as the captain of the Boomers. Mark Worthington, welcome to you.
Thank you, Cam Luke. I appreciate it, and it's nice to be back out here watching a bit of basketball again. It's been a while, and I think we've all missed the NBL season,
Yes.
so it's good to watch a little bit of NBL1 action.
And Matt Hickey, local legend when it comes to the Ringwood Hawks, knows what it's like to play on this particular court, and he's going to talk us through in particular this Ringwood, who have been extremely impressive to kickstart the year, the Lady Hawks. Matt, welcome to you.
Thank you, guys. It's I really should have been introduced first before Mark, because I don't quite have the resume that he does. But
I disagree, Matt. I can tell you right now, Mark Worthington has never stepped a foot onto this particular court, which of course is extremely famous in basketball ranked in Victoria. So right now you are the senior commentator, knowing the local knowledge.
I'll take it. I'll take anything I can get. But yeah, this Ringwood team surprisingly 3-0. Surprised, I think even the home fans, to be honest. Everyone was unsure how they would go, but it has been a fantastic start to the season, as you mentioned.
Huge win a couple of weeks ago over Kilsyth, who were missing Nicholson, of course, who was on Opal's training camp. But they're a deep unit, Kilsyth, so it's not to be taken lightly. What should we look for tonight when it comes to why they're playing so well and to make sure they continue the momentum after the break last week for Easter?
Playing team basketball and the hustle has been really impressive for the Hawks. And of course, they've got some big ins that they had. Antonio Farnworth, the biggest of the lot. Former New Zealand international WNBL player. She has been huge for the Hawks so far this season. 22.3 points per game, if you don't mind. So keep an eye on her, number 7. She's been huge. And of course, the two imports as well, Megan Mullings and Cassie Mahalko. They are two integral parts of Coach Tim Motton's team.
Before we talk about the Eltham Lady Wildcats, just on this team as well, you did mention off-air prior to the game as well, a little bit unique to the NBL1. There are 2 international captains who play for the Lady Hawks.
Yeah, would you believe it? It's got to be the only team in the NBL1 to have that. They have, of course, Farnworth used to be captain of New Zealand, has captained New Zealand a number of times. But another one to keep an eye out for is Gina Scaria, who has, of course, captained India, would you believe it, number 14, Gina Scaria.
All right, let's talk about this Eltham Wildcats unit, because they won their first 2 games of the year, and coming up from the Big V was always going to be a tough one. That's what happened a couple of weekends ago. But Wortho, you're a man who loved the shot, as we all do, and when it comes to letting fly and having the green light, Chelsea Swears is someone who, coming off big numbers in the Waratah League last year, has been given the green light from coach straight up, and we look forward to her just jacking it away.
Absolutely. There's nothing better as a player when you get that green light.
Yeah.
And,
well, I don't know how it feels, but I'll take your word for it.
mate, let me tell you, straight up, it's you feel like you cannot miss a shot. And it's funny when those players go to better teams and they find out that everyone else needs a shot as well. Those shots don't drop that they do. But it's good to see that she's down here. It's good to see she's having some fun. It's good that she's putting up some big numbers, and she'll need to put up some big numbers tonight if Eltham's to get the win.
I spoke a little bit on the NBL1 show during the course of the week. This is a big night. These are 2 traditional rivals stretching a long time. VBL days, old VBA days into the Big V. And while there's been, although not for the Lady Hawks so far being 3-0, there is going to be some reality checks for a couple of these clubs as the year goes on. But getting the upper hand over the fallow Big V, I guess, teams that have been upgraded as well is going to be a big one. So in both the men's and the women's games tonight, they're huge one, in particular the men's, who played off last year in a Big V Grand Final.
Yeah, it's an interesting battle, and it's an interesting thing you talk about Big V and all the teams that are coming out. And I think the Ringwood Hawks, for instance, are a team that are really happy to be in the position they are at the moment, and will be really happy to, again, if they can knock over another Big V team, because nobody really knew with these teams coming up where exactly they would fit into the scheme of things. I think most people thought that would be towards the bottom of the ladder. We're yet to see how that will unfold, but it's been an interesting start, no doubt about that.
All right, starting 5s are about to enter the court. We need tips before we get to it. Matt, you are going to be biased and go for the hometown Hawks to go 4-0?
I'm not normally super biased, but at 3-0, I think you've got to back them in.
Fair call too. Mark Worthington for you?
I've never been one to be controversial in my life.
No, not at all.
I'll go for Eltham.
It actually feels, for me and for Matt, obviously being big fans of yours growing up, Mark, it's actually nice to go to a basketball game knowing that you can't get a tech foul ejected or have a suspension on the back of it. So hopefully you enjoy the lower intensity tonight from the commentary booth.
Give me a chance, mate. Give me a chance.
Commentator thrown out for the first time.
All right, we'll get to the starting 5s in just a minute. This is a huge one. Of course, nice big crowd here at the Rings. And we'll go to you, Matt, for the Ringwood starting 5s as the Lady Hawks take on the court.
As they come out, Farnworth, who we mentioned earlier, also in there, Cassie Mahalko, Megan Mullings, and I can't quite see in their group at the moment, but they're the big 3, of course. We've got the skipper, Danny Bone, 28 years of age, the guard, 178 centimetres, and then they finish off with a former Nuttawad inspector, Jackie Trotter.
And for Eltham, we've got Mulligan, Panousis, Schwers. Who else have we got out there? We've got Brooke and we can't see the other person.
We can't because
Abby
Ellis in the end. We got there in the end. As we're away here, and Ringwood will hold the ball. Lady Hawks, great pass inside, underneath. Nice little and one. Kick started. Men King and one. That's a beautiful start, Matt Hickey, and that's the way that Ringwood play. They like to get up and down. That's a nice way to go about it.
Yeah, good to see Cassidy Mahal go in the game early. She started off the NBL1 season a bit slowly, but it's good to see her with an early touch and an early score.
That's a vision from Farnworth. Gets it off the tip and just pretty much flicks it over. Shot put style over the shoulder, and a 3-point play, and the Lady Hawks are on the board. 6 seconds into this game, and we're away here at the Rings. 3 and zip Lady Hawks taking on the 2 and 2 Eltham Wildcats. Penises at top. Here's Swears. She's got to get up some shots early to have a chance. Inside. Double team. A lot of double team early on Mulligan.
Well, it's aggressive defense. They've shown from the get-go. They score in the first 6 seconds. They say, if the ball's going to go in the post, we're not going to let you do anything. We're going to let you throw it out to someone else to make a move. And you take the foul, you take the early aggression, but you just shore it up now.
They're a smaller team as well, so the double team is something you're going to expect over the course of the night. Here is Schweers for 3, off the iron, coming back the other way. Lady Hawk's going to set up. Here's the captain, Bone. Little step around, gets bumped. Thought for a second it wasn't going to get called. She tried to find it there, did Mullings.
Don't know about you guys,
right
but
onto it.
nothing quite demoralising than getting a score off the opening tip. I tell you what, just the head drops instantly if you allow that.
And an early foul as well, which always does hurt just a little bit.
I can tell you, Megan Mullings, she's an athlete. Straight away from the get-go. We saw her.
Oh, great pass.
Well, unlucky,
Good
but you saw her what she was doing in the warm-ups. You just knew that there was going to be something special there. And if you're going to wear pink hair or purple hair and yellow shoes, you'd want to be special.
Yeah.
And she's been pretty good to start off.
Yeah, she'll be a beast on the offensive rebounds as well. Keep an eye out.
Panousis. Here's Swears. Back to Panousis, the point guard. Guarded by Bone. Crosses over. Gets in the right-hand dribble. Gets deep into the key. May got away with a little bit of a travel. Falls out to Bone. Now she gets away with another travel. Panousis from 18 forward. Tried to bank it home. No good. Lady Hawks will come away with it again. And Malako will set up. Bone from top of the key.
Good defensive start for the Hawks here.
Guarded by Swears. Captain goes right, gets around and gets the reach into the Swears. She doesn't really like it, but I think it was pretty obvious, and now she'll go to line 4 too. Great start for the Lady Hawks, and as you touched on, Matt, great defensively, and the shots they've had to take Eltham have been fairly rough.
Yeah, got to enjoy when you force shots late in the shot clock. It's always a good sign that your defense is performing well.
Yeah, of course. Playing were though, I always like to hold it up, and then you have to take it, and you can't really get blamed. 1 second to go, I had nothing to do.
Exactly, they're the best shots and the worst shots to take.
They are, and you only have to hit one every 3 or 4 weeks, and people think you're clutch.
Unless your name's LeBron James.
Yeah, that's also true. Oh, they've kept it alive, and that is going to be poor from Eltham because off a missed foul shot, Mullings were able to pick up a little gimme and put it down. And it's a nice start, 6-0, a minute and a half into this NBL1 women's game here at Ringwood. Wide open 3 off the iron from Eltham. Falls into the hand though. Little left-hander, Mulligan will open the Wildcats to kickstart there. It's 6-2 Lady Hawks. Back down the other end. Oh, great look inside. Farnworth, great look. Now we're going to push back the other way. Panousis in control. Swears has to get open for a couple of shots early. She took a 1 early towards the end of the shot clock. Now we're going to go back inside. Here's Mulligan. There's the double team again. Kicks it outside. Gives up the 3. Gets inside. Gets a nice little bump. And the double team again there, guys. When it goes inside to Mulligan, it's fairly obvious. That's the way they're going to try and make them beat them from the outside.
And Eltham running the flow offense, which I hate to death.
Go on.
Because
explain.
Grant Spencer spent a season as assistant for Aaron Fern up in Cairns, and all he ran was the flow offense. And I tell you what, it just when teams get up and into you like Ringwood are right now, it's really hard to get the ball moving, and you go too much side to side and not enough north and south, and that's what we're seeing from Eltham at the moment.
7 on the shot clock. They're going to throw it back in. Here's Swears, heavily guarded. Now she gets back to the top. Panousis gets around the right-hand dribble, gets in, little floater, just throws it up hard off the rim. And again, too good there. As we come the other end by Mullings, who's been above the rim with 3 rebounds early. Here's Bone, guarded by Panousis. Gets inside to the key. Great hand by Brooke. We'll go back the other way. Panousis trying to push on it. They have a 4-on-5. Ball pass, to be honest. Probably stood on the headline. Referee might have missed it. Go inside. Here's Brooke again. The only one who scored. Is he going to get bumped?
Their size proving a real issue there.
It really is, and that's how they're going to milk it all day, Eltham. And I know Swears likes to shoot the 3 and is unreal from beyond the arc, but going inside's their obvious strength right now, Eltham.
More importantly, Megan Mullins out early with 2 early fouls. She was doing a great job being physical down there and just a little overzealous on that one. Gives up your second foul and probably has to sit for majority of this first half now.
Nails the first. There's Mulligan, who's got all 3 for Eltham. Is this the way they've been playing their basketball to kickstart the year in their 3-0 start?
Yeah, it's been the hustle, been grinding away, and you see a lot of backdoor cuts and things like that, and they look to get cheap baskets there. And when the offense is flowing, that's what they're going to get. Coach Modern obviously also recognising the size mismatch inside, getting Amanda Meinking on the floor.
Here's Farnworth, goes inside, kicks it outside. Wide open 3, straight on. Kevin Durant special off the iron. But there's that hustle again by Farnworth. Great pass inside it. Good, couldn't quite finish it again. Go again. Off the offensive rebounds, and in the end they're able to score. Trotto. All the hustle leads into an 8-4 lead there. Swears just goes, I'll shoot this from 25 foot off the iron. Manking with the rebound. Bone will push it up the floor. Here's Trotto looking inside, couldn't find it. Top of the key, Farnworth uses the half the screen, gets inside, tries to just bounce it straight to an Eltham player, and the Wildcats go the other way. Panousis ahead of the pack, runs it down, now throws it inside. Hard to double team when you're on a mini semi-fast break, and that's exactly what happens. Mulligan with the left hand, she's able to scoop it up, get the contact, and one to come.
Well, great little passage of play there. Good defense. Farnworth tried to do the fancy no look and threw it straight to the opposition.
I know how that feels.
One of the Cam Luke's specialty. And, you just get punished going the other way. Turnovers kill you. Coaches hate them. Turnovers, offensive rebounds, easy baskets. And she got an easy basket and a foul, so going to the foul line for an easy one.
And what they did there, really good job, Matt, was to get it inside. You can't double team on a semi-transition, so to be able to use their height, and she's fairly agile as well, so you can't double team a fast breaker. Is nice move.
And a good entry pass. It's been a bit scrappy early, a few loose passes, but that was nice.
Here's Trotto, here's Farnworth, back to Trotto, baseline 12 foot, leaves it just a little bit short, and Eltham are able to get the rebound through Brooke. They're going to push the other way. Here's Swears, kicks it out, now inside, where's the double team? Still no double team. Brooke hands it off, cops it off the great pass from Mulligan. She took the defensive rebound at one end and came flying down the middle at the other end. In the end, nothing to do but hack.
Great pass by Mulligan. One dribble, shuffle pass to a teammate going down the lane. And it's just nice little play recognition. Saw that the double team was coming, made the quick pass to a moving player, and once again, making a living on the foul line at the moment.
If they're able to push it up, as they did there, Matt, they pushed it off a defensive board, yet again, couldn't get the double team. That time it wasn't just about Mulligan getting inside, but it was also the great pass to Brooke, who was able to be that trailer down the middle.
That broken play, very impressive, and I think Mulligan just happy to dish it off, happy to get some help, because she had all 7 points up until that point.
We're tied at 8, 5:50 to go, first period. Here's Goldie. Hands off Farnworth. Top of the key, Trotto wants to take on. Feels she's got the speed and the quickness over Brooke, and she proved it there. Was able to turn back in. Little jump shot, shot for about 4-4 was nice.
Ringwood are able to, in that particular offense, find an isolation or a mismatch that they like the look of and feed that person, get them going in off the drive after a bit of ball movement side to side.
Mulligan. Here's the handoff. Swears hasn't been able to get going just yet. Farnworth wanted to throw it up. In the end, didn't. Now she'll reset. Ringwood lead by 2. It's 10-8 early days. Making straight pass inside. Great little look. Great cut. Excellent cut. Malako's able to put it down. And it's 12-8. Back to that 4-point lead to Swears. Oh, she wanted it. So did I wanted to take it. Eltham reset. Baseline. Oh, great. Farnworth was able to come over the defensive help, and Ringwood are going to try and go back the other way. Goldie, little hesitation from 17 foot. Has to throw it out. Malako, shoot it, please. Off the iron. Fighting for the rebound. Was Brooke on that situation. Now Panousis looks inside. Can't quite get it to Mulligan. Now they do. No double team coming. He's able to go around. Kicks it outside. Wide open 3 for the Wildcats. Right in front of their bench. No good. Swears in the rebound. Goes left. One little dribble and uses the friendly rims here at Rings to be able to get her first 2 points of the game. It's 12-10 Ringwood, 4.5 to go. few of them letting it fly. Were they? You like that?
Mate, this is my sort of basketball that I do like, but the one thing I've noticed is Ringwood, they just cut really, really well off the ball. Pretty unlucky not to get a foul there, but you can just see that across the board in their entire team, they've got long athletes, they move quickly, they cut well. And no wonder that they're 3-0 right now.
Farnworth, long three, just off the iron. Swears with the rebound. Will push the other way with Eltham. Trying to tie it up, will take the lead. They trail by 2. Halfway through, just over halfway through this first quarter. Here's Mulligan, been outstanding in the first quarter. Spins the other way, tries to bank it in, no good. Off the rebound, and her third now from Malacco.
What's Ringwood's second unit like, Matty?
Not as strong. Goldie here at the point is, as we see, a big block. Mulligan, she's been excellent early. Really solid point guard. Not necessarily going to create her own shot, but she's a good floor general. But yeah, second unit, not as good as the starters. And that's probably an area where they need to improve coming off the bench. But at the moment, they're doing all right.
And that's
Cam, were you ever a starter, mate?
I
You
was.
played 250 games?
I actually started, I would say, probably 218 of them, and I should have started all 250. Funnily enough,
Just
actually,
quietly.
the 32 games that I came off the bench were actually pretty good. The 218 I started, we struggled as a club.
Bit of a Lou Williams type player over here.
No, because Lou Williams actually accepted coming off the bench, and I never did. That's the big difference. Just talking about depth, great cut. There's Swears from
Really
about
nice
14
basketball.
foot.
Really nice basketball from Eltham.
Great pass. Great pass from Panousis to be able to find Swears. Just on the depth you're talking about there, Matt, that's the difference between the NBL1 teams, or the Big V teams and the old SCBL teams, because there is depth. Those teams that come out of the Siebel, as it's a errant pass was picked off by Brooke. She passed with Panousis. Farnworth gets a hand on it. She's actually correct. Did come off the Ringwood hand, but it's going to stay with Ringwood because the umpire was blindsided on that situation. But that's the difference between those Big V teams that have come up in the Siebel teams, is that bench depth that really tells the story late in the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah, the Ringwood bench is a lot of Ringwood juniors. And I think you'll find a lot of the Siebel clubs, it'll be some juniors, but they'll be kind of state-level juniors, and the rest will be players from other clubs. So it's where the Big V teams don't quite have that depth going through the 12 that are named on the floor.
Farnworth, short off the iron, but tied at 12.
And that's been the knock on Farnworth in her WNBL career. We know that she's super athletic and she can get to the rim really easy, but being able to knock down that shot consistently, as we see Chelsea Brooke knock down a shot, but her ability to knock down that shot, I think, will lead to her playing more minutes in WNBL.
Panousis, beautifully done there, was able to get into the key, kick it outside, and we go down the other, and that's an and one. No, it's not, as it just rattles from Malacco off the ring. But just at the other end, Panousis has been able to control the tempo early, and she gets 2 feet into the key on a number of occasions. That time, the play before, she was able to find Swears on that back cut for the 14-footer, and on that particular time, she was able to kick out to Brooke, who clearly has the range to be able to step outside the three-point line.
I think she'll be eager to play well, Panousis. She started off the season with 2 20-plus point games, and then since then has had 2 double-digit point games. So I think she'll be eager to come out here and put on a bit of a show.
What's a sub-double-digit game?
That's below 10 points. Is that? Fair call. I'll take that.
You know what I call that? Career high. Malacco. Oh. I always like the rings here at Ringwood, but that was a little bit harsh rolling it out as we go the other way. It was a great pass, Brooke. Now Eltham the other way. Spillane will kick it out. Panousis has controlled it from the start. Off the screen gets Malacco. Now she's inside. Oh, great move. She has been dominant inside Brooke. She's been the difference so far. She a little left-hand hook, being able to put it back up in 2.
Really nice.
17-13 lead.
One. She just gave her a little hesitation, like she was going to go back to the baseline, and continued with a nice little left-hand hook.
We'll start again. Lady Hawks on the offensive board. Here's Trotto. She wanted it, kicks it outside. Got away with a little bit of a walk there, but we'll leave it. Early days. Here's Goldie. Gets into the key again. Little floater, little right hand. Tries to bank it in. Comes in and out. Second one it's happened for Ringwood. One from the foul line. One in the little banker there, and it's come off the iron, and they trail by 4. It's Eltham 17-13.
I think Piper Goldie must have heard me from over here, because I said that she couldn't create her own shot, and she said, well, watch this, mate. Have a look at that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, should have gone in probably. The roll was a bit stiff.
Here's Panousis. Been great against the pressure early. Kicks outside for 3. That one's off the iron. We're going to keep it alive. Don't know they're not. Ringwood are going to come away with it. In fact, geez, that's a cheap, disappointing foul when you're playing so particularly well, and you're the reason you're in front.
And more importantly, you just march them down to the other end for 2 free throws. It's unnecessary that far away from the hoop. It's unlucky, but at the same time, you've got to be disciplined. If you're playing against a team that's 3-0, you need to be disciplined, and giving up easy, cheap points like this isn't going to get it done.
Especially when you've built up a little first quarter lead as well. Out to 4 points, and all of a sudden, clock stops, you send them to the line, and hopefully an easy 2 if you're a Ringwood fan.
Edmondson.
Put the Moz on. There you go. Fair enough. Happens every week.
17-13, minute 8 to go. First period, NBL1. Doubleheader tonight here, Ringwood Basketball Stadium. Nails the second one. Back to a 3-point lead. We'll see a sub. Malako will take a seat. She's been good early. In comes, who we got there? Ogler?
Ogier.
All right, there you go.
You're so close.
Ogier, got the O right.
Just 17, young player. Good to see her getting some minutes out here.
Great hands too. We're going to kickstart the other way. Here's Edmondson, just come off the foul line. Now she'll come the other way. They'll restart again. Here is Ogier trying to, little spin, gets inside to the key, kicks it out. We'll start again. Edmondson goes right. That's a charge. No, it's not.
There goes your career as a referee.
Tell me I'm wrong, boys. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'll tell you what, we're sitting in perfect position here. And, I think she got hit right up the guts.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Maybe it's because of the angle that we're at. We're about 4 steps up from ground level, and we can't quite see as good. But no, it's a charge every day.
Nice of you to give the benefit of the doubt there, Mark.
Edmondson goes to the foul line. Nails the first. 17-15, Eltham lead, 43 to go, first quarter. Edmondson has now allowed her last 3 foul shots. She's 3 or 4 from the line. She's got 3 on the night. It's 17-16, 1-point lead. Here's Swears, got it. That's what she's been doing, and she's been doing for a long period of time.
Ringwood coaching staff not pleased with that. They clearly had a certain assignment on Swears on the pick and roll, and they didn't quite execute there.
She put up a 50 last year in the Waratah League, a 50. So you know she can shoot, so you've got to be able to get a hand the moment she steps over. There's Goldie, wide open. Edmondson for 3. Got the momentum from the foul line, couldn't finish it. Great rebound inside. 12 seconds to go. They're able to get the score. Ranking has come in.
It's not that hard to have 50 in the Waratah, mate.
Oh. Swears giving it up. It upsets me, but that's a great pass. A great pass to end the quarter. Swears was able to get inside the defense collapse. She kicks it out to Gillum, who hits the 2. Must have been the shoelace just on the line. But that leaves us after 10 minutes in the book. 22-18, it's Eltham over the undefeated Lady Hawks after a quarter. We'll get to a break. The second quarter and the wrap-up from our 2 superstar commentators next right here on NBL1.
Went to inside a little bit more, which created outside shots. They're now 2 of 7 from outside with that 3-pointer on the buzzer. But I think they've just controlled tempo and started cleaning up the defensive boards as well.
I think the worry is also Chelsea Schweers got going in the back half of that first quarter, and she's up to 7 points when at the start of the game it looked like she was going to have a long night.
If we look in, start the second quarter. Still, tell us a little bit about this bench depth you spoke about, or maybe the suspect bench depth matters. We look at a lot of the bench players from Ringwood to start the second quarter as well, because these are a big couple of minutes, because you can't allow other teams to, in particular when you look at the way the Eltham have, great pass from Swears there to Brooke, they're going with a couple of their guns too. In fact, their main three are going to be out there. So this Lady Hawks bench team is going to have to play a good start to the second quarter.
Yeah, and it's a young bench. So you see Edmondson and Ogier out there, both 17 years old as we see Ogier there, and unlucky. And making that pass was Nahira Ravakumar, who is 21 and has been playing in the youth league team here at Ringwood for a while now. So it is an age thing. They've got the talent, no doubt about that, but it's the experience against the bigger bodies at this level.
I think Eltham going with the Twin Towers, a la Tim Duncan. And David Robinson has just been a little bit too much right now. The height of Eltham's been an issue for Ringwood. And they need to do this more in the perimeter, get them out of their offense, get their catches a little bit further out, force them to do something that they're not used to. But you can't stop that.
What I would do here is I would zone this team. Just for this couple of minutes when you've got the bench girls on there to see how the actual Eltham team reacts to it. Because right now inside, you've got Edmondson, who was guarding Brooke, and you've got Ravikumar, who was just guarding Mulligan. And there's just no way. Even if it's a double team, it's going to be hard to stop.
I think it's also the reason why that potentially they're not is the worry about Schweers.
Schweers, yep.
But I mean, that's just one player out on the perimeter, and if you can keep it close on, and normally you can do a pretty good job as she comes up with a steal, and we'll take it back the other way for Eltham.
26-18, Eltham lead by 3. Here is Schweers. Now they're going to go inside all day. No double team coming, and Mulligan says all day. I'll do it all day. This time, rather than go to the left, she spun back to the baseline, used the right off the backboard. It's a 10-point Eltham lead. Mulligan has 11 to go with a couple of rebounds as well, as Trotto gets deep inside the key, going the other way, and uses the speed to score. And they needed that.
That's the second time that she's just dropped the shoulder and used her strength. And I think they've listened to what you've said, Cam, as they've dropped into a zone.
Profit.
Yeah, maybe, mate, your calling might be as a coach instead. And it's the right call right now.
Well, if there's an NBL1 team, if Swears takes the 3. If an NBL1 team is happy for me to patrol the sidelines on weekends only and have trainings off, I'm happy to talk.
Mate, and you're still talking about playing, not coaching.
I was actually, that's very true. It's back to a 10-point lead. Screen and roll. Ogier kicks it outside. For 3, a little bit long. Great rebound, goes straight back up. A little bit of contact, not called. We'll start it again. Scaria kicks it outside. Here's Edmondson. Now the boot out. Revikumar for 3, off the iron. Too big inside right now was Brooke. They're going to push the other way. Swiz. Mulligan's running one way. She doesn't look at it. She tries to kick it, and she ends up throwing it. Sure, they're going to give the ball back. Probably might have missed a foul. But they'll stay with the ball. Annie Ever was at one side. She couldn't quite find it, but they'll stay at that side as the Eltham Wildcats bring in some of the changes. We'll start with Panisius, who had a really great first quarter as well. Controlling the tempo for Eltham.
Yeah, I think Ringwood's problem down the other end is they're penetrating with no regard to what's happening next. And when you're not shooting that well from the 3, they're 0 of 8 at the moment. Obviously, you know, you're struggling to get easy baskets. So they need 1 or 2 baskets to drop, but they also need to finish on the rim a little bit more as well.
And the big sign of that is leaving the ground to make passes, which is always a worry when you're a coach, seeing your team starting to do that kind of thing.
Revikumar, top of the key, guarded by Panisius. Got to shoot it. Edmondson for 3 right in front of us. A little bit long.
It was straight though.
It was straight.
Nice out of the hand from this angle anyway.
Farnworth is going to check back in. Trotto's going to take a seat. It's 30-20, 7:23 to go. Second quarter, NBL1. First of our doubleheader here from Ringwood Basketball Stadium. It's the Lady Hawks by 10 points.
Maddie, tell us, does Ringwood have a suit sponsor? Because all the coaches are dressed to the nines.
And the men's coach will also come out, and they've also got, if you take a close look, the Ringwood Hawk coloured ties as well. It's really a fashion show out here.
Great pass inside. They get it off the rim, no, as Mulligan couldn't finish. It'll stay with Eltham on the baseline. Is that a league thing? You've been around the Big V and into the NBL1 for a while. Is that a league thing? Is there a dress code now about how players and coaches have to dress coming to games?
I know that if you're sitting on the bench, you have to have some sort of team gear on. Ringwood, for some reason, just really, I mean, unless they've got to deal with Peter Jackson, I'm not entirely sure, seem to love to rock the suit. Why not?
I know, it looks great. Just wondering, really. I will say that in the past, when we used to roll up in flip-flops and T-shirts, it's a much better way than it is now. Of course, the NBL1, as professional as it is, I think it looks great, and I almost guarantee they'd have a suit sponsor somewhere.
I think it's the slacks and the polos normally the way as we see the Eltham benches, the way they're rocking. But players have to do that as well, although that necessarily hasn't always been held up. But they're worn pre-season.
Maggie Mulligan just picked up a second foul on that play, which is big. They're leaving her out there at the moment, but you wouldn't want to pick up a third.
And that's the thing, and we would just see what Farnworth did and what Toronto did on the previous possession is they attacked it. They've got to run back and attack it and throw it down their throats going the other way. So it's the way to go as we look at Mulligan now. Back again, Brooke. Between tandem have been good early. Here's Swears. They've got to get to her. Close it down on his own. Nearly got away with the walk. Was able to kick it outside. Panisi for three. Right in front of the Eltham bench. She finds the bottom of the net, and that lead is back to double digits. It's 33-22. Eltham by 11.
And by the way, Mulligan, Brooke and Schwiers haven't been subbed off yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how they go in the latter half of this second quarter and whether they can keep up their level of play.
If you have a look at their bench as well, they haven't got much height on the bench. They're actually quite a small bench as well. So while they've got the Twin Towers, if we look at Mulligan to get subbed out now for the first time with those two fouls you spoke about, though, the fact is that when you look at the way they're playing as Barton comes in, they aren't anywhere near as big. So their strength is most definitely that starting five when it comes to the height.
Mate, I'll tell you what, when I used to play a lot of minutes, it didn't matter how much you played or didn't play during the week, because you knew you were going to play 40 minutes on the weekend. So you don't tire at any stage.
No, you don't.
You just enjoy the moment. And, once upon a time when I used to run around in the SBL back in the day.
I think you had 63 in that one game, didn't you?
So he told us earlier.
Yes, he told us off air. Just drop it in if you can.
Oh, I did all right for Bunbury.
He's just slipping that 50 over to you now.
No, they were 48-minute games as well back then.
No, fair enough too.
I think when you get to that stage as a player, you just don't get tired.
No, you don't.
Because expectations of not only yourself, but also the team is, especially down the crunch, you know that the ball's going to come to you and you've got to be able to make plays.
Here's Panisi. He's back to staying in that zone of Ringwood now. Done a pretty good job so far. Leads at 10. Tried to go to cross-court pass. Farnworth, after her hand, was able to pick up the loose ball and push back the other way. She finds Edmonton, who's been impressive off the bench. Runs baseline, got nowhere to go. Now tries to kick it out. Can't get it inside. As she tried to, as we of course see Mullings has come back on after she picked up 2 early fouls in that first quarter. Couldn't quite get it to her, but she was bumped off the ball and will stay baseline with Ringwood as Malaka comes back in for OGL.
Mullings is going to fight in there all day long, no matter how many fouls she's got. She's going to throw her weight around, and as Wertho mentioned earlier, super athletic.
Great pass, inside. There is Mullings inside. Can't stop her, as you spoke about the athleticism. When you get that close, it's going to be very hard to stop. You should be able to get that little jump, 2 foot, kiss it off the glass. It's back to 8. Panisi already hit the last one. She's hit 2 in a row now. And that is the issue. If you're going to stay in that zone, and you're worried about Swears, obviously, but you've got to make sure you don't let someone else go off like Panisi is right now.
Well, she's been fantastic to start the game. She's already got 4 assists as well. She set the table early. Now she's getting a little of her own. Everyone needs to eat every now and then, and she's been able to smack the back-to-back threes, and if you shoot it again, boo.
Great pass. There's Barton underneath the key. Great pass. Panisi. Gillen pushed it up the floor. Able to find Panisi. She was able to quarterback it. Find a running Barton on the weak side to lay it off the glass, and that lead is 13. 38-25. 5:16 to go here in the second quarter. And some worrying signs, not just because of the height, which was the concern early, but the transition for Eltham in the last couple of minutes have really been able to give them some easy points.
Well, that and turnovers. You know, I think Ringwood's just had too many turnovers to start off this game. And even though they're at 6 apiece, I feel like Eltham's converted majority of their turnovers to this point. Going forward, Ringwood would want to shore that up, and I think the one way they do it is they're just going into the keyway free will with no plan at the moment. Maybe make a jump stop, maybe go hard towards the rim, but they're just sort of going in there to bail themselves out and throw it out instead of making a good heads-up play.
It's interesting looking at the assist numbers as well, 5 to 13 Eltham's way, and you would have thought that Ringwood had those 5 pretty much all in the first half of the first quarter. So their off-the-ball movement, which Wertho highlighted earlier on, which was fantastic early, seems to have dropped off a little bit.
And that's the thing a little bit too, because they are trying to push, Ringwood are trying to push going back the other way, which might not necessarily be their natural game, but that's the way that they've been trying to counteract the height. And maybe, I won't even say the lack of speed from Eltham, because I don't think that's a concern, but I guess the height and the agility for Ringwood, but hasn't quite worked out going one-on-one at different times, although they have been able to get Mulligan sitting on the bench in a couple of fouls.
Yeah, I'd like them to see them get out of their flow offense, where it's a lot of penetration and dish, and get into maybe some off-ball picks and some things like that. Just change things up a little bit, because I think they're becoming a little bit easy to defend at this point in time.
You know what? Ringwood just needs to make a 3.
Yeah, and that's
They're
a good point.
0 of 9 compared to 4 of 10 from Eltham. That's pretty much where it's at right now.
As a three-point shooting team, how are they normally, Matt? Farnworth gets inside. Oh, here's a chance.
Go. Before I begin, not quite.
Got a
they have
real
their
good
moments.
look.
Can get hot, can definitely get hot. Mahalko, she can definitely knock them down. Farnworth also has her moments, and they've got some good players off the bench that can normally knock them down as well, but a little bit hit and miss, and as they've been in this game, miss at the moment.
Miyako, that was a great look too. You called for a Mark Worthington. Farnworth was able to find it wide open in the end on the rebound. Farnworth got bumped and she'll go to line for 2, but that was as good a look you can get to break the drought.
Absolutely. And I guess if you're looking at the positives right now, they're going to go to the foul line the rest of the way. We've still got 5 minutes to go in the second quarter here. So you want to be aggressive now. Like I said before, go in there with a plan. Now go in there to attack their bigs. You know that they're a little bit vulnerable at the moment without Maggie Mulligan in the game. You've got to attack the rim and try and get to the foul line a little bit more.
Here's Brooke, hand off to Swears. She's got 7 points early, trying to work off the screen, can't find it. Barton. Here's Gillum, doesn't come off the back screen, goes on the backcourt, doesn't cut it. Barton just looks up in the end because she gets a clean shot. Great rebound, Mahako, and we'll go back the other way. Here's Farnworth. Hawks trying to cut into an 11-point deficit as it stands. Looks at Panousis down. Great cross-court pass. Edmondson kicks it out open. Bone for 3. Still that drought's now none of 11. Mullings kept it alive for a split second, but it'll stay, and Eltham will get possession going the other way. Since you called for it, Wertho, they've had 2 pretty good looks at it.
They have, and at the end of the day, haven't been able to capitalise on those good looks, but you can't. Sometimes you just miss shots. They're not bad shots that they've taken, and they'll probably, well, I was about to say, they'll probably make that, which was a bad shot.
Nah, that's what Swears takes, though, and that's what she makes. That's not a bad shot because of what she can do. Edmondson just pulls up 15 foot off the iron. Mullings too big inside, puts the power dribble, goes up the left hand, and 1. There you go. She sat for a fair bit of time after picking up 2 early fouls, but has made an immediate impact since being re-entered into the second quarter fray, and here's an and 1 opportunity for the 11 from Ringwood.
Super tough to stop inside, and we keep talking about it. Super athletic, an absolute beast, not afraid to throw weight around, and super strong inside. And I think I better stop before I say super one more time in that sentence.
That'd be super.
I thought she was going to put a hole in the floor the way she was doing, do the old Mark Worthington power dribble inside, but in the end it leads to a 3-point play, and that lead is now back down to 8. They've been able to chip away at it and not allow it to get deeper into double digits.
You know what I liked about that move is she made a great rebound to start off with, but then she made a quick move to the basket. Don't let the defense gather themselves. Quick little move to the middle. Nice finish with your left hand. You've got to be able to knock down those shots and get yourself to the line. She's got herself going in the last couple of minutes. Be interesting to see what she does here for the rest of the quarter.
Here's Panousis, hit the last couple of threes. Great screen and roll. Brooke, cross-court, Swears. Going to find a wide-open 3 in the baseline. Can't find it for Eltham, and another stop for Ringwood. That's 3 in a row as they cut that lead from 13 back to 8. Here's Bone, would open up, wants to take on Panousis. Now she does, gets into the key. Oh, nice little jumper. That 14 foot, was able to get it. Nail it with Spillane, and all of a sudden that lead is back to 6.
It's just about halved, and this is big going into half-time. Momentum really shifting at the moment.
As Mulligan kicks it out to Panousis, she'll start again. Back inside. Mullings came over the top, and I reckon she might have got her 3rd foul.
The funniest thing out of all of that is Grant Spencer was screaming for a timeout. He didn't get it, and then I think he'll take Megan getting her 3rd.
She goes to the bench, and that is, she's been the catalyst of this little mini fight back that's cut that lead from 13 to 6 for Ringwood now. She'll have to take a seat with 3 fouls on the bench. In comes Trotto as well to fill the spot, but this is a little bit of where the dominance for Eltham was in that first quarter with the height, wasn't it?
And Grant Spencer happy not to take the time there now.
Yes. Panousis, top of the key. Here's Swears. Tries to look inside, but there's got the 2 powerful players inside. Great pass. Great pass. Couldn't finish it, though. About the first one they've missed around Right underneath the basket there was Brook, and Eltham get a little bit of a lucky break. It's a 6-point lead. Bone, oh, couldn't find Mahako. Now we're going to stay with it. It's not pretty. Shot clock down to 10. Here's Farnworth, steps back on Panusa, 17 forward, can't get the bounce, they're going to fight for it. Mulligan's just going to hold on to it, and Eltham will reset. Panusas, long quarterback pass, got a hand on was Farnworth. Schweers was able to hold on to it. We'll start again. Oh, great look. Both, see, we've got both Brook though and Mulligan are both going to the same side. It's happened a little bit in the last couple of minutes, and it's been hard to get an entry pass. Panusas is able to drop it, but Mulligan was standing out of court, and it'll be another turnover for Eltham.
Yeah, poor spacing the last couple of possessions from Eltham, and Grant Spencer now taking that timeout that he wanted before. But I think if you're Eltham, you just got to get back to your winning ways a little bit, and that's by having the stops, going back inside, make a good play out of the post, whether making your own shot or getting it out to someone else. But got to credit Ringwood here, Matty, and they've had a nice little fight back here.
Yeah, got to be happy with that heading into half-time. How often do we see basketball players, they catch the ball inbound and the back foot goes back for the takeoff, which is a bizarre action when you think about it, and they step out of bounds. It happens a lot, and it's one of the things that in basketball it's just reoccurring, and it's bizarre when you think about the mechanics of when you go to take off quickly.
Defensively, offensively, Wertho, what's been the change in the last couple of minutes? It's allowed that lead to be stripped away, because if you look at a halftime deficit of 13, 14, 15 points, it really can work around your mindset. You get it down to 5 or 6 or even closer in the way the Ringwood have now with the possession. What's the difference? Is it offensively or defensively, do you think?
I think it's defense. They've just got into them again like they did at the start the first quarter and made them make a few mistakes. Obviously, Eltham, as I said, their spacing hasn't been great, so they haven't had any good looks, but you've got to be able to get them out of their comfort zone, and that's exactly what Ringwood's done the last couple of minutes. And to go back to your point, Matty, you need to have speed off the mark. Well, Cam and I never had that as players.
Whoa.
No, there's no whoa about it.
You can take all three of us.
I'll tell you this right now. Defensively, I was suspect off the mark, but offensively, when we got the ball, I was gone.
You're
when there's a chance for
not a two-way runner, I can tell you that.
You know what?
You were Mellow Trimble before Mellow Trimble.
I had a little afro at one point. Mine was bleached, though, as tips were cool back in 03.
Slim Shady.
38-32, 6-point lead for Eltham. Ringwood trying to cut into it. Mahako, top of the key. Guarded by Alice, comes off the screen with the right-hand dribble. Now kicks it outside. Bone looks at Swears. Great pass inside. Mahako inside, gets a double team. Did enough on the defensive help from Brook to be able to force it away, and Panusas is able to pick up her third rebound of the night.
You know what? She was open about a second earlier, and if you got it to her, she wouldn't have felt that pressure. And if we're looking at Eltham right now, they're not even looking at the high-low, which they should have been, because they need to start, as I'd say in football terms, waxing a little bit more and using the bigs as a bit of partners.
Here's Trotto. What can Ringwood do here? Spillane the top, little spin on the right-hand dribble, kicks it off, great pass, great cut, and it counts. Little bump, she's a little bit late was Alice there. Malako was able to throw it up, take the contact, drop it in, and that lead now down to 4 and possibly 3.
When they're playing their best basketball, and you can tell it's that movement off the ball that we've already mentioned, and Mahalko, similar to a number of times in the first quarter, so good off the ball and does a lot without it. Came in, easy deuce, and the foul. And 1 3-point play, you'll take it back to a 3-point ball game.
I tell you what they haven't done though, and you were right by saying if they hit a couple of threes, it'll make it a lot easier, but they haven't panicked and just jacked a lot of bad shots to try and cut that lead away. They've done it playing their basketball, and they've been able to get it back to 3 again.
Absolutely, and the worst thing you can do, I think we've seen it in the NBA playoffs, is Oklahoma City. They started to panic, and it was Jack Station there for a while, especially from Russell Westbrook, and you're never going to win basketball that way. Obviously, you might get lucky every now and then, but what we've seen from Ringwood has been pretty consistent basketball.
Here's Swears, pulls up and a little left-hander, can't finish. A great rebound by Brooks. She gets fouled, which Marco isn't overly happy about it, but
it was
she's going to have to cop it. You reckon it was there?
It was there.
Yeah?
On the body or up with the ball?
On the arm.
On the arm. She disagrees.
Mark Worthington, the official. I never thought I'd say the day.
I never fouled when I played, of course, but
no it has, really.
Now, well, then why is it staying on the baseline? Can you explain that one to me?
Mate, I wish I could.
Nobody wants to pass on the ball, by the way.
Anyway, in the end, Mulligan's going to do it. She's thrown it almost straight away. There's some confusion down here, but the shot clock's at 10 and Eltham have it. Now's an offensive foul, which...
That's a third as well.
It is.
And I'd say that was a really bad call.
Okay. Mulligan gets a third. I was actually not looking at the action, although I was watching the ball handler, because there seemed to be some confusion as they were counting down.
They actually
touched on.
called it on Panousis.
Did they?
So that's her second.
Got lucky. So she gets 2. Mulligan stays on 2. And under a minute to go in this second quarter, Ringwood will try and cut this lead down. Deep inside the key, Spillane left hand, can't finish it. Great rebound, Mahako, tries to go back up. Now she doesn't, gets double team, tries to kick it back out. There's Trotto, Farnworth, left hand dribble, gets a double team, kicks out for the first 3-pointer of the half. There it is.
Oh.
They've ended on a 12-0 run. Nothing but net by Spillane. It's 38. Panousis goes the other end. She's been great in this first half. No exception there. She'll now go to the foul line to try and split the deadlock.
A bit too excited from making the first 3 scenes of semi-pro there when they made the basket and running back down the other end was a wide open layup.
Have not seen semi-pro.
What?
Haven't seen the movie. Haven't seen it.
Why not?
You know how busy I am? I've got time to watch
Oh.
Will Ferrell in basketball.
Yeah,
is just
I
a
know.
Dream,
He does.
dream matchup.
It is. I just haven't seen it. I you know. And like,
How many shows are you doing right now?
how many shows?
How many shows are you on? What? Are you busier than Andy Marr these days?
Panousis nails both. It depends. I've got 5 TV shows and 4 radio shows, but I found some time to come
Just
back for
quietly.
NBL1 on a Saturday night.
Everywhere.
Also probably gives an indication as to why I'm single. But anyway, let's end this first half. Bone will hold it down. Shot clock at 6. 5 minutes to shot and game clock. There's Farnworth inside. Kicks it outside. They would have hit 1. Can they hit 2? They can't. And the shot clock, that would have made my night if she had been able to somehow hit it over the backboard. But it will stay with Eltham. 5 seconds left, and a timeout that Grant Spencer was trying to get about 3 minutes ago. He's finally said, no, I'll take it now, and they'll set up a play here. Werther, you've been around for a long time. Is this one where you give it to the point guard and allow her? Panousis, in this instance, you'd probably think to be aggressive with the dribble. Do you go for a longer full-court quarterback pass and try and see how that goes?
I think they'll go to Schweer here and just let her, if I'm coaching Eltham, I'm just putting everyone on the baseline, having a screener around mid-court and saying, Schweer, go to work here. But, I mean, you wouldn't blame her if they went to Panousis as well, because she's been exceptional in the first half.
And coming out of a timeout here, you want Eltham and you want the coaching staff there to make sure that the girls get it on the forward momentum so the pass is actually in front of them so they can run to it. And with Ringwood, you're trying to make them go the other way and face the wrong basket to catch the ball.
Correct, but 5 seconds is a long time in basketball. It doesn't seem like a long time, but a lot can happen in 5 seconds, and we've seen some pretty miraculous stuff over the years done in 1 second.
Yep.
A la when Tori Craig got the alley-oop from half court
right.
of Cameron Tregar, which I happened to be sitting on the bench enjoying that one. But
Fouled out or ejected?
it was first half, so I was in trouble. But if I'm Ringwood, I'm just trying to disrupt them right now. Don't let anything go over the top and put everything in front. And Farnworth, the captain, being up there.
Swinworth to throw it in. They actually got it with the momentum. Here is Panousis. 2, 1, travels, doesn't get called. They didn't get a shot off. They actually had an opportunity, but in the end they did it as well as they could, and Ringwood were able to shut them down and not allow a shot. So after 1 half here at Ringwood, it's 40 for the Eltham Wildcats, 38 for the Ringwood Hawks. We're going to come back, second half not far away, and of course the observations led by Mark Worthington. That's next in the second half. 40 to 38, 2-point lead for Eltham at halftime. The ball, Lady Hawks, great pass inside, underneath, nice little and one. Kicks. Malako will set up. Bone from top of the key.
Good defensive start for the Hawks here.
Guarded by Swears. Captain goes right, gets around and gets the reach into the Swears. She doesn't really like it. 6-0, a minute and a half into this NBL1 women's game here at Ringwood. Wide open 3 off the iron from Eltham. Falls into the hand, no. Little left-hander, Mulligan. A couple of shots early. She took one early towards the end of the shot clock. Now we're going to go back inside. Here's Mulligan. There's the double team again. Kicks it outside. Gives up the 3. Gets inside. Gets a nice little bump. He swears. Heavily guarded. Now she gets back to the top. Panousis gets around the right-hand dribble, gets in, little floater, just throws it up, half inside. Here's Brooke again, the only one who scored. Is he going to get bumped? Inside, kicks it outside, wide open three, straight on. Kevin Durant special off the iron. But there's that hustle again by Farnworth. Great pass inside it. Good, couldn't quite finish it again. Go again. Off the offensive rebound. Just bounce it straight to an Eltham play, and the Wildcats go the other way. Panousis ahead of the pack. Runs it down. Now throws it inside. Hard to double team when you're on a mini semi-fast break, and that's exactly what happens. And Eltham are able to get the rebound through Brooke. They're going to push the other way. Here's Swears. Kicks it out. Now inside. Where's the double team? Still no double team. Brooke hands it off. Cops it off the great pass from Mulligan. 50 to go, first period. Here's Goldie. Hands off Farnworth. Top of the key. Trotto wants to take on. Feels she's got the speed and the quickness over Brooke, and she proved it there. Was able to turn back in. Little Wears. Oh, she wanted it. So did I. Wanted to take it. Eltham reset. Baseline. Oh, great. Farnworth was able to come over to Mulligan. Now they go. No double team coming. He's able to go around. Kicks it outside. Wide open three for the Wildcats. Right in front of their bench. No good. Swears in the rebound. Goes left. One little dribble. And uses the friendly rims here at Ring.
What's Ringwood's second unit like, Matty?
Not as strong. Goldie here at the point is, as we see, a big block. Mulligan, she's been excellent early.
No, because Lou Williams actually accepted coming off the bench, and I never did. That's the big difference. Just talking about depth, great cut. There's Swears from really about 14 to 12.
And that's been the knock on Farnworth in her WNBL career. We know that she's super athletic and she can get to the rim really easy, but being able to knock down that shot consistently.
Panousis has controlled it from the start. Off the screen gets Malaka. Now she's inside. Oh, great move. She has been dominant inside. Brooke will leave it. Early days. Here's Goldie. Gets into the key again. Little floater, little right hand. Tries to bank it in. Comes in and out. Second one that's happened for Ringwood. One from the foul line. One on the little banker there. Ranking has come in.
It's not that hard to have 50 in the Waratah, mate.
Oh. Swears giving it up. It upsets me. But that's a great pass. A great pass to end the quarter.
Right call right now.
Well, if there's an NBL1 team, if Swears takes the three. If the NBL1 team is happy for me to patrol the sidelines on weekends only and have trainings off, I'm happy to talk. Mate, the iron. Too big inside right now was Brooke. They're going to push the other way. Swears. Mulligan's running one way. She doesn't look at it. She tries to kick it, and she ends up throwing it. Sure, they've never been good early. Here's Swears. They've got to get to her. Close it down on the zone. Nearly got away with the walk. Was able to kick it outside. Panisi for three. Right in front of the Eltham bench. She finds the bottom of the net, and that lead is back to double digits. It's 30. Right in front of the Eltham bench. She finds the bottom of the net, and that lead is back to double digits. It's 33-22. Eltham by 11.
And by the way, Mulligan, Brooke and
scored pass. Edmondson kicks it out open. Bone for three. Still that drought now, none of 11. Mulligan's kept it alive for a split second, but it'll stay, and Eltham will get possession going the other.
They're not bad shots that they've taken, and they'll probably, well, I was about to say, they'll probably make that.
Ringwood, that's three in a row as they cut that lead from 13 back to 8. Here's Bone, will open up, wants to take on Panousis. Now she does, gets into the key. Oh, nice little jumper. That 14-foot was able to get it.
Using the bigs as a bit of partners.
Here's Trotto. What can Ringwood do here? Spillane the top. Little spin on the right-hand dribble. Kicks it off. Great pass. Great cut. And it counts. Little bumps. A little bit. In the end, Mulligan's going to do it. She's thrown it almost straight away. There's some confusion down here, but the shot clock's at 10 and Eltham have it. Now's an offensive foul, which...
That's a third as well.
It is.
And I'd say...
Doesn't. Gets double team. Tries to kick it back out. There's Trotto. Farnworth. Left-hand dribble. Gets a double team. Kicks out for the first three-pointer of the half. There it is. Oh. Malako will set up. Bone from top of the key.
Good defensive start for the Hawks here.
Guarded by Swears. Captain goes right. Gets around. He gets the reach into the Swears. She doesn't really like it. 6-0, a minute and a half into this NBL1 women's game here at Ringwood. Wide open three off the iron from Eltham. Falls into the hand, though. Little left-hander, Mulligan. A couple of shots early. She took it one early towards the end of the shot clock. Now we're going to go back inside. Here's Mulligan. There's the double team again. Kicks it outside. Gives up the three. Gets inside. Gets a nice little bump. Here's Swears. Heavily guarded. Now she gets back to the top. Panousis gets around the right-hand dribble. Gets in. Little floater. Just throws it up. Half inside. Here's Brooke again. The only one who scored. Is he going to get bumped? Inside. Kicks it outside. Wide open three. Straight on. Kevin Durant special off the iron. But there's that hustle again by Farnworth. Great pass inside it. Good. Couldn't quite finish it again. Go again. Off the offensive rebound. Just bounce it straight to an Eltham play, and the Wildcats go the other way. Panousis ahead of the pack, runs it down, now throws it inside. Hard to double team when you're on a mini semi-fast break, and that's exactly what happens. And Eltham are able to get the rebound through Brook. They're going to push the other way. Here's Swears, kicks it out, now inside. Where's the double team? Still no double team. Brook hands it off, cops it off the great pass from Mulligan. 50 to go, first period. Here's Goldie. Hands off Farnworth. Top of the key, Trotto wants to take on. Feels she's got the speed and the quickness over Brook, and she proved it there. Was able to turn back in. Little Wears. Oh, she wanted it. So did I. Wanted to take it. Eltham reset. Baseline. Oh, great. Farnworth was able to come over to Mulligan. Now they go. No double team. Basketball Stadium, game one of our doubleheader tonight, Ringwood and Eltham, NBL1, and right now at half-time, after 20 minutes in the women's side of it is Eltham 40 to 38. If you're joining us for the first time, tail of the game, great start, the first 6 points for the hometown Hawks, but the inside dominance by Eltham meant they led by 2 points at quarter time. They stretched that to an 11-point lead in the second quarter, but they went into a zone, did the Hawks, and a couple of foul trouble for Mulligan, meant they were able to end the second quarter with some momentum, the Lady Hawks, and tied it up at 38 before a couple of late foul shots saw the difference. 2 points at the half. It's 40 to 38. Matt Hickey, Mark Worthington here with me, Cam Luke, in the commentary booth. And boys, after 20 minutes, this is an entertaining game, and it is 50-50.
Yeah, it's been very much a back and forth encounter so far, and like you said, the dominance of Maggie Mulligan inside has just been the story of the game. She's got 15 points and 4 rebounds, and Panousis, I think, has been excellent as well with her 8 points and 4 assists. And then, obviously, we'll look for Schweers to get going in the second half. And if she can get going in the second half, could spell a little bit of trouble for Ringwood.
Had 50 in the Warriors and just shoots it. And I was excited to get here and see her take more shots. So I want to see her lose a little bit of consciousness she's developed before tonight's game. You know what they say, a pass you make is a shot you don't take. Matt Hickey, what do you think?
Yeah, well,
is that a theory that the Ringwood Hawks youth team used back in the day?
I wish I was ever given the green light, but I was more just set some screens and maybe look for the drive and dish and just sit underneath the basket.
Sometimes you don't get told by the coach that you got the green light. You just shoot it.
I never had a green light. You know, you just run it. You just run the gauntlet every now and then. In fact, sometimes I had an amber light that I took the shots on as well.
You had a red light and you still shot it.
Yeah, true, and that's why I could only fit in the 250 games that I played, so that's right.
I tell you what, though, Ringwood would be pretty happy with coming back into this game. Yep. It looked like it could blow out for a second there. Back to a 2-point ball game, and I think the coaching staff would be really pleased and would take that coming out of halftime after the way they were early in that second quarter.
The thing I was really impressed with Ringwood, and I mentioned this in the second quarter as well, they didn't get back in the game or try to get back in the game by taking bad shots and panicking. They actually stuck to their structures, and at different times they pushed the floor to try and give a little bit of, try and get some foul trouble on the big girls, on Brooke in particular and Mulligan, and it worked, but essentially they just play the way they played their basketball, and that's how they got back into it. That's a big thing.
And happy to be only down by 2 points when you're shooting 1 of 14. That's just 7% from downtown, as we see Jackie Trotto go in and finish a nice layup for 2 left hand, and it's a tight ball game.
Well, though, you've coached before. You coached a couple of years in the QBL. How great is it when you run a play at a half-time and it's run to perfection?
Yeah, you take all the credit too. And no, that was a really nice play, and I think what we saw there, Trotto's been really good for Ringwood in the first half, and her aggression towards the hoop has been noticeable, and she's had to step in with Megan Mullins with the 3 fouls, and she's been solid so far.
Mulligan's been the difference, though. She's got 17 points, 4 rebounds, uses the left hand again, kiss it off the glass. We go down there, and here's Spillane, who hit that 3, the only one for Ringwood in the first half. Now she'll start again. Trying to penetration. Kicks it outside Mahako. Now she'll get inside. Over Alice. Got it. Beautiful. Been able to use it a couple of times. The old jump stop, 2 feet. Gets a nice composure and got, of course, fair core strength. The shovel explodes straight up.
I'd be interested as well to hear from you guys. At what point do you pull the trigger on Mullings and bring her back in and let her play with 3 fouls?
I'd see how this first 4 minutes goes, and if it starts going a bit south, I'd be bringing her in pretty quickly after that. But pretty much like their style of basketball in the second quarter, I wouldn't be in a rush or in a hurry or in a panic about it. The team's been playing pretty well without her so far, and obviously she'll be a spark plug and be ready to go at some stage. And when she does, I'm pretty sure she'll be a beast on the boards.
Spillane can't get it off. Little jumper. Good rebound. Trotto keeps it alive. They'll restart again. Spillane turned down the 3. Gets inside to the key now. Kicks it out. Here's Trotto. Scored the first point of the second half. Kicks it out. Farnworth 3. Got it. Another net. They're in front. They found their way back to an 11-point deficit to lead by 3 points, 45-42. And as you're just touching on with Mullings, it's a scoreboard thing. You just watch the scoreboard until it starts to become untenable, and then you make the decision based on that, I think. On the left. Couldn't quite finish it with Swears. Farnworth couldn't keep it in. I think stay with Eltham on the baseline. Shot clock at 14.
I think the other thing that she's an aggressive player. It's not a player just from looking at it that I'd trust to say, I trust you with 3 fouls. I think she's just going to go out there and play the natural style of basketball that she plays, which would quite easily get her a 4th foul.
Sounds like someone on this commentary booth. Matt Hickey and I never fouled out, so you can work it out.
I wouldn't say that, to be honest.
Mate, you guys didn't play long enough to foul out.
Here's Farnworth. Again, can't kick it out now. She does. There's Bone from the baseline. Will restart, looks inside. Now the cross-court pass. Mahako for 3. Left wide open by Brooke. Can't do it.
It's raining.
They missed their first 13. They've hit 3 of their last 5, and all of a sudden that lead is a 6-point lead. It was 38-27 with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. It is a 20-5 run, and now a 6-point lead.
Huge turnaround, as you mentioned, and it's raining threes now. It was a while between, getting the first string, let alone getting the second, but they've come out here the second half and shooting the ball very well.
Swears got her up, couldn't get it up. Shot clock at 1's got to go up. Panisis knows it, doesn't get anywhere near it. Great defense by Bone. Now they'll push. Great pass. Mahako, layup, left hand, 8-point lead. Grant Spencer says, give me timeout. This has been a horrible 3 minutes for the Wildcats. A kickstart of third quarter, and has been a huge start. And that lead, which was 2 points for Eltham at halftime, is now an 8-point deficit, and the hometown Lady Hawks have got all the momentum.
Well, it's exactly a carbon copy of what we saw at the start of the game. Made a few shots, get out in transition, easy layups, playing great defense. Eltham just looks stagnant coming out of the halftime break. Not much movement on the offensive end. Obviously, their focal point, and Maggie Mulligan hasn't been getting a touch. And this is what the flow offense does to you. It stifles you at times. It's not necessarily what the defense is doing to you. It's more that you're just playing east and west and not going north and south. And when you've got a player of Maggie Mulligan's caliber, you need to throw the ball just into her.
I have heard players all over the world be angry at coaches and other players and opposition and fans and even sometimes floor wipers. I've never heard anyone go on a rant on more than 3 or 4 minutes on an offense, but here we are tonight. Didn't like the flow offense.
Won't be running out with any of your own teams, were they?
Yeah, I ran.
No, as
Did
coach.
You really? As coach?
No, as coach.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'd never run it. Jesus, no.
Hey,
It was ISO ball and said, do what I used to do.
Just
Player coach at the time.
that 11-point lead, which was cut to 2 at half-time, does that play on the mind of Eltham and the lower intensity have come out in the third quarter, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, everyone's a bit different, but basketball is about games of runs, and obviously Ringwood have come out here with another run to start this third quarter, but they know that they're capable of playing good basketball and getting the ball in the basket. It's just a matter of doing so and letting your stars shine at the moment. And funnily enough, Eltham are out of the flow. I'm shocked.
Here's Swears. Gives it the right hand. She's the left hand. It gets inside. Great defense. Trotto. Swears left on the grounds. A 3-on-1 the other way. Panusa's the only player, and Eltham can't do a thing about it. In fact, did probably enough in the end. Mahaka was able to finish it. And now Gillum comes back the other way. She gives it to Swears. Start again. Brooke at the top of the key. Here's Swears. Inside to Mulligan, who's been outstanding. Gets fouled. Turned straight into the arm. Just wasn't straight up. If it had been straight up, she would have had nowhere to go. But probably with the arm already on the angle, it probably helped out the offensive player.
But credit Maggie Mulligan. That was great footwork inside. She saw the defense rotate across, spun back around, and it was a foul at the end of the day. And that's what happens when you're a big person. The little people try to annoy you, and then they have to foul you because they can't stop you.
Has the key always been painted? I don't remember it ever having colour. I never went in there, so.
Get Oscar Foreman's shoes on.
That's Mulligan. Scores their 18th point of the game. Ends that run which has started. I will say, though, the third quarter started identically, if you're just joining us, identically to the first quarter where Ringwood come out with all the intensity and jumped away to an early lead. So same again as Eltham go back to the zone, which is dangerous because Ringwood have been able to find some range from three. That one from Farnworth off the iron, and a stop for Eltham to try and cut into a 7-point lead. Panousis just knocks it straight over the hand of Mahako, and it was nothing but net. She's been really good tonight.
I think the Wildcats just got to be careful. Offensive rebound numbers 13-7 Ringwood's way, and you know in a 2-3 zone the guards can come through and it's tough to find a play to box out. As we see there, another offensive rebound, so they really have to focus on getting on the glass as we see a 3 from Danny Bone.
Great pass, great rebound. Trotto off the Spillane miss and just kicks it outside. Nothing but net. And tell you what, for a team that couldn't hit the ocean from the pier in the first half, they've come out red hot from beyond the arc to start the third quarter.
Well, there's nothing easier than a wide open shot off an offensive rebound, and I think we see it in the NBA a lot with the Warriors and what Andrew Bogut's been able to do and grabbing those offensive rebounds, throwing it out to his shooters and KD, Steph and Clay, and that's exactly what just happened in the last possessions. A good offensive rebound, kicked it out, no one around her. You know, you can line those things up from a mile away, and Joey Wright always used to say, it doesn't matter who they are, if you give them enough time, you're giving them the best chance possible to knock it down.
There's Swears, didn't get a great deal of time to the sharpshooter and come off the iron. We'll push the other way. Here's Farnworth, she's been great. That lead at 8, Bone, Mahako, 3. That one's short off the iron. This time no one's getting the rebound. But Mulligan, Panousis, split second, loses it. Now she's able to retain as Eltham tries to go inside. Great move, Mulligan. She just gets fouled in that left hand. You speak about the footwork, Mark Worthington. That's absolutely the perfect example of it there.
Absolutely. You could hear Tim Motton, the coach of Ringwood, screaming double, 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 but it came too late. And even though it wasn't a great pass, they probably could have led it into it a little bit better. But you can definitely tell they need to double her down there.
What do you do, though? Do you double at that point? I mean, she's done it the last couple of times. She's able to turn, and she's so good on the left hand as well as she's on the right as she misses the first. So when she's been able to go and spin to the baseline and use the left hand, kiss it off the glass, it's been extremely effective. Do you start to, rather than double from the middle of the court as they did there, do you throw the double from the baseline and try and force it to the middle?
Well, you can still go with the same double, just don't let her spin backwards.
Okay.
And you know where the help's coming from. But it's been a little bit too late at the moment. In the last 2 possessions, she's just spun off the defender. You've got no help down there. You can't do anything about it. But that's a adjustment that they need to make. Not so much. Oh, what a tip in! Oh, unlucky.
Just off the iron. Trotto's been keeping offensive rebounds all night. Is able to get the another 2. She has been great, has Trotto. 5 rebounds, 4 of them have been offensive, and she puts it back in for a 9-point lead. What did you make of them going into a zone? They've actually found their range, and now Eltham are going to try and combat that by going to a zone. Do you like it?
No.
It's
not working at the moment.
This is what I found it interesting, that they've finally found their range, and now they've gone to a zone which is leading to wide open threes, which has led to, if it comes off the iron, easy offensive rebounds.
Sometimes it's a coach out thinking himself, and you just got to go with what's successful. And man-to-man's been doing the job.
It has.
And you know, I think it's one of those ones where you'll probably go back and be like, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Bones got bumped. She'll go to the foul line for 2. Tell you what, they are very hard to do or play against. Matt, you might be able to give us an idea on this as well. It's very hard. As she nails the first. It's very hard to do a lot of full court pressure because they have such a versatile 5, in particular on the court right now, who can actually all handle the ball. So if you're going to try and put pressure up the floor and get the ball out of Farnworth's hand or try and get out of Bones' hand, they're able to find someone else who can do the exact same thing and create.
And they've looked at it a couple times, Eltham, and they've come out of it because it hasn't worked brilliantly. And that was also, Tim Motton was yelling out while Schwiz was on the court, was to switch, because at the moment with this lineup, they can switch 1 through 5 because of their athleticism and length.
Stay with the baseline. Mulligan, who's been outstanding tonight, 19.7 rebounds. She'll throw it in to her partner in crime. Here's Brooke, now Panousis, who's been outstanding as well, running the point. Guarded by Farnworth, comes off the screen. Screen and roll, shot clock at 4. At 3, Gillum for 3 as the shot clock counts down to 1. It's off the rim. Farnworth able to take the Aussie rules type specky, but it didn't get called. Here's Spillane, goes the other way, runs into defence, kicks it back outside. Farnworth, wide open 3. The old Tony Ronaldson just trail 3. That one was a little short off the iron though. And Eltham will come the other way. They trail by 9. Panusis able to get into the key. Gillum, left hand on the baseline, little floater 4 foot. Sorry, Swears and able to find the bottom of the net.
That was a really nice runner from her. Took the defense closing out hard and a nice little pull move baseline.
7 points she has. Now up to 9. Here's Mahako, gets inside to the key. Probably too easy. 2 feet inside the key off the iron. Brooke with the rebound. That's her 9th. Kicks it out. Panusis looks up, surveys, passes it. Now here's Gillum. Wants to kick it inside. Great hand spill on. Gets the stop. And now the Lady Hawks will run the other way with a 7-point lead. 2:42 to go here in the third quarter.
Team defense for Ringwood has been excellent, and they're all helping each other, happy to switch, getting little tips like that, and it really helps them, and it is able to get them quickly into their offense back down the other end, and we've already seen them have a couple of fast break points.
3-pointer. There it is. She's the captain, isn't she?
Indeed, and nails that one. That's a big 3. She's come out, and she's on fire. I was a bit worried earlier. She went to the fair line, looked a bit proppy on that right knee that she's got a brace on, but she seems fine now.
There's Swears. You can't give her a moment like that on the handoff. You've got to make sure, in particular with this Lady Hawks team, that they all switch so well. You can't make the mistake of not having communication, in particular where Swears were able to get that millisecond to shoot it.
This game's gone up a notch just, by the way, here in this last couple of minutes.
Bone can't finish it. Off the iron, 7-point lead. Stays there. That's a horrible pass. Straight to Spillane. She says from 12 foot, I'll take it. And I like the fact she didn't wait for teammates, because that's exactly what I spent my career doing. Now Eltham will go the other way. She tried to do the same thing. Mahako with the steal. And you're right, Matty, it has gone up in intensity and speed in the last couple of minutes for sure. Try and find some composure. A wide open 3. Defender goes underneath, can't find it. Big rebound for Mulligan.
Just struggling to find her range here, Mahako, so far in this game. I'm not sure if she's nailed the 3 yet, but good to see her still shooting, as I'm sure many of us here on the commentary booth know shooters have to shoot, or gonna shoot, one of the two.
Speaking of this, Benisi's come off the screen, wide open, couldn't finish it. Great rebound, Gillum tries to kick it outside. Now we'll start again. Here's Swears, hit her last 3, gets inside, little floater. She's got that floater down pat off the left hand, hasn't she, Wertho?
Yeah, she's a scorer. You know she's a scorer because she can do it any way that you want it. In the last 2 out of 3 plays, she's been able to get onto the rim and have a nice little float game, a la James Harden with the lefty. And he's just been so special this year.
Oh, what a move. Speaking of special, Trotto's having an outstanding third quarter. She's able to go to the basket. She's now up to 12 points herself. Been able to hit the offensive boards as well, but she scored off the opening tip to start the third quarter, and she's been the difference and made sure that 7-point lead stays at that for Ringwood as Swear steps back. Left hand a little bit short, runs down her own rebound, and she'll start it again.
And Trotto hasn't overcomplicated things either. He's pretty much doing the same thing each time she gets the ball, but Eltham can't stop it.
Panisis gets inside, just hands it off. There's Mulligan, uses the nice little jump fake, gets inside. Mahako comes over, though, is able to get the block. What will Ringwood do here? 16 on the clock. They're going to go and take it on. Mahako can't finish it. Farnworth underneath the board. Now they'll reset behind Bone. 9 seconds. Shot clock turned off at 5 and 4 and 3. Bone's already hit 2 threes in the quarter. She doesn't know. Yes, she does. No. I might have lost track of time for that split second. In the end, it just comes off the iron. But it's been a big quarter for the Lady Hawks. They trailed by 2 at the half. They now lead by 7. 62-55 after 3 quarters in the books. We'll be back with the last quarter next, right here from Ringwood Basketball Stadium.
get going. She found a few little runners there, but for me, I think it's been Trotto's been the player of the game for Ringwood so far. She's been very, very good. And you asked when we were going to see Megan Mullings again. Well, she sat out the entire third quarter.
She did, didn't we? Didn't see her at all.
She did try to check in with about 2.5 to go, but there was no stoppages. So
not that I would have risked that as a coach. Get the fourth with 2 seconds to go left in the third quarter.
Here we go. What can Eltham conjure up? Here's Barton. Nowhere to go on the handoff. Now she's got to go to the top of the key. Mulligan's been outstanding. Leads all scorers with 19. Here's Swears, and that's a better way to defend it if you're the Lady Hawks. Shot clock at 7. Here's Panousis. 5, 4, 3. Alice goes baseline. Tries to draw the contact, and in fact does it successfully. And we'll go to line for 2. Shot clock was at 1. That's frustrating for the Hawks.
Almost did a hamstring getting up that quickly. And it was a bit of a bailout call. I thought it was a bad drive into traffic. There was nothing there. She should have just shot the shot. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, Cam.
Yeah, that's pretty much my career. She was the first in all walks of life.
Point out the turnovers, 12-6 Ringwood, just 6 turnovers. And looking after the ball, that was especially big, I think, in that third quarter. There was a notable difference between the two teams in regards to looking after the ball. And they both started pretty sloppy at the start of the game, to be honest, as well.
Well, 0 turnovers in that third quarter for Ringwood. And they've gone to their little bench group again to start the fourth quarter. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep the lead.
Well, great take. Gets the bump. Rover Kamar will go to the foul line. I reckon a lot of the turnovers and the lack thereof is the fact we spoke about how they're so versatile, and they're lineups they used, in particular in our third quarter, where 1 to 5 they can all carry the ball. So you're not necessarily desperate, and it's hard to play a defensive scheme. As she misses the first, that denies everything because you've got 5 players who essentially can play point guard.
Well, we see it in the NBL with the Adelaide 36ers and the way that they play, everything switching 1 through 5, and sometimes it's a hassle, but sometimes it really just throws out the offense, and especially a team that's running flow as much as what Eltham is running, it's going to disrupt them because you need to have that movement.
Here's Barton.
Well, that's another poor turnover, but Ringwood also super active off the ball, I thought. And there's the cross court, if they still call it that. I don't even know if they call that anymore. Backcourt, there we go. But super active off the ball, getting lots of little touches in, coming off from the weak side. And I thought that was a big point of difference from them from the first half through into that third quarter.
Edmondson's been great.
Back to that 2-3 zone that we've mentioned a few times here from Eltham.
Here's Mullings out of the whole third quarter with 3 fouls. Inside, Edmondson. Little fadeaway on the right hand. She's able to get it down. That lead is now out to 9.
I think they just also may have stuffed up the shot clock then, because that would have been about the quickest 24 seconds I've ever seen in my life.
They had it at 14, but that's probably a good lesson for all the juniors out there, is just taking your time when you get the ball in the middle of the zone. It's so tempted to rush every time you get in there, as we get away with a travel there, but it's a really good lesson for all the juniors out there. If you do get the ball in the middle of the zone, take your time, look at the rim, have a see what's available.
Alice hits the 3, then comes back with the steal the other day, but
clothesline.
Yes. Rover Kamar gets the hand in, trying to stop the play. Professional foul, they'd probably call intentional in the actual NBL. But unsportsmanlike, what's the ruling nowadays? A sportsmanlike foul?
No late game fouling anymore.
No, it's...
In wrestling, it's called a flying lariat.
Yes, it most certainly is. Here's Barton, top of the key. 6-point lead for the Hawks. Here's Panousis. She's been great all night. 10 points, 3 boards, 4 assists. Here's Mulligan. She leads all scoring. Alice hit one from there about a second ago. This time she doesn't want it. Shot clock at 7. Panousis, 3. Look good from where we sat. Just a little short on the iron, and now we'll go back the other way. Ringwood lead by 6. 7:54 to go. Fourth quarter. Edmondson. Mahokey now. Back to Mahokey. Trotto had a great third quarter. Takes it in straight on Mulligan, trying to get her into another bit more foul trouble. In the end, though, she was up to the task, and the ball comes off Trotto's hand, and will go back to Eltham. They try to cut this lead down to 6. They haven't been this close for nearly a quarter now, so with every opportunity they get, it puts some more scoreboard pressure on Ringwood.
It's nice to see the guy that was singing the loudest in the national anthem has started the defensive chant for Ringwood.
Consistent, that's for sure.
Yes.
Farnworth also about to check in for the Hawks.
Nice footwork again. Maggie Mulligan, she's just having a field day down there, and Great footwork for someone of that height.
21 points, 12 rebounds for Mulligan.
Shooting
She's led from the start.
73% from the field as well, just quietly.
Oh, that's an offensive foul, and that is interesting. It's on Trotto.
Trotto hasn't gone blotto about it yet, so... Oh, interesting, like you said.
Yeah. Eltham,
It's a
4-point game.
third personal as well, just something to keep an eye out for down the stretch. He has been subbed off, though, Farnworth on.
More importantly, 3 team fouls. Was
Bad
a
pass on
cheap
Panousis.
Cheap turnover.
That's one of the very few mistakes he's made. He's been in great control of the team tonight. Coaching staff for Eltham are a little grumpy about something. Not sure if it's the players or the score bench or the flow offense. It's something, but right now he's not overly happy as Grant Spencer. As Ringwood's 4-point lead. Can they extend on it? Here's Mahoki. Rover Kumar, top. Turn down the 3. Gets inside. Great pass. Farnworth. She half wanted to bank that, I think.
Caught in 2 minds for sure.
Here's Panousis. Goes around Edmondson. Gets deep into the key. Takes a little bit of contact. No call. I thought it was the right call. Gets it back. Kicks it out. Swears. That's all she needs. That looked straight as well. Big rebound, Farnworth, and the Hawks will go back the other way. They lead by 4. 6.5 to go here. Can't get inside to Mullings. Here's Edmondson. Turns down the 3. Takes it past Barton. Great defense. Great defense there by Brooke. Now we'll push it the other way. Here's Swear. She wants to pull up. This is what I came for. Short off the iron. Farnworth gets the exact same rebound she got off the last shot that Swear's missed. And Ringwood now. And you spoke about that intensity, Matt, in that third quarter. It's reaching that type of intensity levels again as this game comes down to the wire.
And Mulligan keeping Eltham in it at the moment. She's bridging the gap almost just by herself, as we see. A tough take, but not quite.
Couldn't find it.
From Edmondson.
Farnworth wanted it, couldn't get it. Now runs off the Mulling screen, gets quite open off the left-hand dribble, shoots it from about 10 foot. Somehow come off the ring. Brooke gets her 14th rebound. Mulligan rather. 14th rebound. Panousis comes the other way. The lead is 4. Swears wants it. Missed the last 2. Same result here. And in fact, Farnworth has got all 3 defensive rebounds off Swears' 3 three-pointers she's taken in the last 2 minutes. And they've had their opportunities. Eltham to cut into this 4-point lead.
Farnworth shooting just 13% from the field as well.
Know how it feels. We go back the other way. Here's Panousis. Pulls up. 16-footer. Got it. She was able to use the dribble, give herself just a little bit of room on the hesitation, and she pulls up on the semi-transition. The lead is 2.
I'm really surprised he didn't take a timeout there. I thought momentum has been wrestled back with Eltham at the moment, and those times you just want to settle your troops and get a good shot, and as you were saying, they're a little bit stagnant at the moment.
Mahoki takes it inside, gets a bump, great steal. Now we'll go the other way. Alice is going to push it. It's now a 3-on-1 after all that. Little fake pass, goes to the left-hand dribble. It's all tied up at 65, and surely Mark Worthington, as predicted, we're going to see a timeout. We're tied at 65, 4:46 to go, and the way that Eltham have turned this game, defensively have been able to turn it into semi-transition as they seem to have all the momentum and maybe a smidge more of the fitness right now.
And Danny Bone, I think, looked like she was about to check back in. And if I was Coach Tim Modern, I'd be getting Jackie Trotto back into this game as well. As we've mentioned, she's been super for the Ringwood Hawks so far tonight.
You don't worry about fouls, do you? I know she's done 3, but 4:45 to go. Foul trouble is no longer an issue.
No, it wouldn't have been an issue at the start of the quarter. So for me, I said at the start of the game goes and runs and flows, and Eltham has control of it right now. It's really important for Ringwood. Come out, have a good set like they did to start the second half. Get a good shot, regardless if it goes in or not. You just want to get a good settling shot right now. Who do you go to? Who's your person? What's the play where you get your best player, the best shot in the right spot right now? And that's what they'll be talking about at Ringwood.
And also, I'm going to ask you guys, who wins from here? 65 apiece, 4:46 left on the clock. Who takes it from this point onwards?
You think I'm going to change my tip from the start, mate? You've got another thing coming.
It's a good question. I think Swears is going to hit one huge late.
You're wanting it.
Yeah, I am wanting it. I also think she'll do it. I think that if Ringwood can find, you talk about that, about being able to find the best player. That's how they started the game, but that's how they got back into it. That third quarter was outstanding with the 5 players they used, able to getting really, really good shots. And they're able to find that combination, which is, in fact, almost the combinations that's now on the court, although Mullings wasn't on. I think it was more Trotto, who isn't on the court, is she? No, so it was more Trotto. So Mullings comes in for Trotto. If they're able to just use that to advantage, I think Ringwood at home will get up. But if Swears keeps getting, looks like she is, and she knocks one, it's going to make it hard. Here's Mahoki, goes inside. Great defense. Great Still, she's out of court. That was great defence who came across by Brooke there in the end. Mahokey had nowhere to go. Couldn't kick it out to Mullings, and it's going to turn to Eltham and their chance to take the lead, which would be their first lead since, I think, the 34 or 35 second mark of the third quarter.
You just got the feeling that Eltham has the shooters to make this happen, whereas Ringwood doesn't have the shooters. They've got the athleticism and they can get on the rim and all that, but when you got someone dominant on the inside, it really sucks in the defense. And Swears, she wants it badly.
Yeah,
not as bad as Cam Luke, but she wants it badly.
I don't know who wants it more. Here's Mullings, goes inside, takes it inside, able to work around Mulligan and just tried to kiss it off the glass, somehow come off, and now Eltham with a chance to take that lead again. 65 apiece, just under 4 minutes to go. Here's Brooke, top of the key. Here's Swears, guarded by Bone. Benousis has been great. There's been the superstar of the night. Mulligan steps through the footwork there in front. She's got 23, 14 rebounds at 67-65. Eltham lead, just over 3:40 to go.
And 4 blocks to go with that as well. She's been a dominant force. She's got 3 assists, but I reckon she would have had about 7 if a couple of them been knocked down. And she's just been the best player on the court. But Ringwood, what are they doing at the moment? They look disjointed.
Bone for 3, and it was a shot clock shot. They're going to push the other way. Swears. Benitez from the top. Down the stretch, it has been all Eltham. Composure. Been led by Mulligan. They'll look for her again. Here's Swears.
She's shooting this for sure.
Kicks it outside. She'll hit one soon. Benitez, should she be the one? It looked okay from where we were. Mullings does what every basketballer should do. Never let the ball go out. Grab it and pad the stats. And now Bone will set up. 8-0 run for Eltham to take a lead. That's a 2-point lead, 2:50 to go. Bone off the Mullings screen. Still doesn't get a great deal out of it. Great back door, but in the end the pass couldn't quite get over the woman of the moment in Mulligan, and Eltham will start it again. They lead by 2, try and extend this lead to a 2-shot.
You just don't know who's going to make the big shots down the stretch here for Ringwood. I'm not sure who's going to step up because somebody has to, or this game is going to get away from them.
Brooke too easy. That one's off the iron. Rebound for Mahokey. Can they get it the other way? She's now got 11 rebounds. Here's Farnworth, been great all night. Ringwood trying to remain undefeated. Eltham trying to end a 2-game losing streak. Mahokey isolated at the top with Ellis. Bone doesn't want to force the 3. Crosses over on Swears. Great defense. Met solidly by Mulligan. Will go the other way. There's a little screen. We've got a player down behind. Play, and Swears pulls up, takes advantage of the 5-on-4 and hitting the wide open 3. It is
teammates
who
not
was
rushing
down.
to her aid, by the way.
Did not see it either. You boys see what happened off?
I think it was Chelsea Brooke that set a screen behind the play, and but that was the 3-pointer that you've been waiting for, Cam Luke, and she just waltzed down there and knocked it down.
And that's what they've been able to do when they took the control of the game in the second quarter. Semi-transition and making the right call, and not necessarily taking to the basket for a layup, but pulling up and shooting a jump shot. And that's exactly what you did right there.
Well, basketball's changed over the years. Coaches used to say you want to get on the rim when you've got an advantage, but the 3-point shot has become such a weapon in their game today. And the ability to knock down a shot. She's had 3 siders already that all look good, but were probably a little bit short. And then she gets one that goes straight away, and she knocked it down.
Jackie Trotto in. There's Farnworth for 3. That one short. Swears with the rebound. I'm not certain they've scored since Trotto got subbed out. She got subbed out around 7 minutes ago, and I think they've barely scored. And she's been great. As Swears gets inside, she gets bumped. She'll go to the foul line for 2. She was just able to get into the key and cause trouble, and there wasn't a basket inside. It was an offensive rebound and a kick out the wide open 3. They've definitely struggled with her on the bench in this particular quarter.
They have definitely struggled indeed, and their last score coming at the 8:47 mark in the 4th quarter, and it's just been all Eltham, and you probably credit their defense. We probably haven't said enough about it, but Maggie Mulligan, she's just been a force in the back line, whether it's cleaning up the boards or getting the block shot. She's got 4, but I reckon she should have had 5 on that last one. But it's just been a 15-0 scoring run that's really done the damage here.
Huge way to end. What can Ringwood come up with as they don't turn it over? Hand by Swears. It's a 7-point lead. 72-65.
Clock beginning to become a serious problem now for Ringwood.
There's Trotto. Top of the key. Spillane can't get it inside. Farnworth has to force it off the left-hand dribble, get her own rebound, fights for it, gets it, knocks out her own teammate almost in the way. Now she gets around the left-hand dribble, gets around Brooke. Oh, great pass to Mullings. Can't finish. Brooke was able to perfectly recover and do enough, and it's come off the Mullings hand. And that is a big possession. Got a couple of good looks at it there. Ringwood couldn't put it in the bottom of the basket. And that scoring drought will continue as Eltham try and extend this 7-point lead.
Well, the ability to knock down a three-point shot has just gone missing for Ringwood in the fourth quarter. And Eltham, they seem to be leading them on a merry dance right now.
Swears, kicks out Brooke. That'll be a good night. Off the iron. She won the first quarter. Big rebound Mahokey. Now we'll go the other way. Time is a factor. As Matt Hickey just pointed out, they need to get going. There's Mullings. Farnworth has to shoot it, has to make it. Does. The lead is 4. 45 seconds to go. Panousis has been in control from the outset for Eltham, though. She has the ball now. Guarded by Farnworth. One of those screens that just levelled bone only a couple of minutes ago from Brooke. Spillane right over. You wouldn't want to foul in this situation. You've done a really good job. Or maybe you do want to foul. What do you...
Well, if you do want to foul, you foul
earlier.
A lot earlier than with 10 seconds. You just wasted 14 seconds of clock just then. You actually had her in a good trapping zone. And
just had to force her back here because the double was coming to the baseline, the sideline.
And just a lack of communication or not knowing what the plan is at the end of a game. Game situations and training becomes really important, knowing what your team's going to do in a certain situation. And it looked like there was no direction there, and a bit of panic set in, and a foul just leading to easy points at the foul line.
As Panousis nails them both, she's been outstanding tonight. She's been really good quarterbacking his Eltham team. It's had its ups and downs over the course of the night, but as it stands right now, she has got 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. She's been outstanding behind Mulligan, who's led the way. 31.1 seconds to go, NBL 1. It is a 6-point lead for Eltham boys. Can you see Ringwood pulling something out of the hat here?
No.
Good chat.
Plain and simple.
Short and sweet.
I think you look at the three-point percentage, Ringwood 6 of 26 on the night, and really Farnworth is the only one that actually looks like knocking down a shot. Well, she's going to shoot it anyway, and just the defensive presence of Maggie Mulligan at the rim, cleaning up the rebounds. I think they're just going to get one look, and if you don't make it, then it's good night, Irene.
They missed their first 12 three-pointers of the night, Ringwood, and you boys made mention of it. Then they got going in that third quarter where they nailed 5 of them, and it propelled them and gave them the confidence, and they were probably lifting the intensity defensively as well. But is this, we spoke about this earlier, is this a typical three-point shooting night for the Lady Hawks, Matt, or not?
They can be hot and cold,
yep.
Which I think I mentioned earlier. And clearly tonight it's been a cold night. 6 of 26, just 23% from deep. I mean, they've been more than happy to take it, and I like the fact that they haven't been discouraged by the poor shooting. I mean, you got an open 3 with no one within 5 metres of you. You've got to let it fly.
No doubt.
They just haven't been dropping tonight, but I don't think they can be unhappy with the shot choice because no one's really forced anything out. That's been out of the offense.
That's something that's been impressive from both teams tonight. And as you pointed out, though, early, basketball's a game of runs, and you go on runs, and the three-point game in which we live now is a lot different, and it means it happens quicker when it comes to scoring deficits and wiping them out. But both these teams have stayed in their structure for a majority of it and haven't panicked. And I don't think that's, even though it looks like Ringwood are going to go down here, as Trotto just throws it away and Swears just says thank you. And
Swears has been unreal in the fourth quarter. And she's known it's been her time. She's taken over the game. She missed those 3 threes, but didn't take a backward step and not being shy to knock down the big one and coming up with a defensive play. Brave effort to come out in the zone.
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
I actually liked it. I like it because they would have ran a play ready to go for the man. I wouldn't have gone for the zone when they hit 5 three-pointers in a row, but I like the fact going in the zone now. Swears. She didn't give me the 50 I wanted, but she's had 19, 5 and 5 as she misses the first. But she has been out. That's veteran leadership too, isn't it, Where though late in the fourth quarter when you need someone to not just hit shots, but also take control of the offense.
When you're on the road, you rely on your stars to make the plays, and she's made the plays. They haven't relied on their bench or their young kids. She's been the woman to do it.
Mahokey for 3. It's off the iron, and Swears will get it. Nat will do it. Spillane will maybe try and foul. She doesn't. They're going to foul. No, they're going to run it out. And this is a big win for Eltham.
Jeez, that was a quick call.
I didn't even know that was a rule.
I did, but I don't think I've seen it.
That's still a basketball rule?
Yeah,
I believe so.
So if you pick it up,
Gallinari got called for it in the NBA today as well.
really?
Yeah.
So if you
But his was
as well.
he was actually like a 7 seconds.
Okay.
Compared to the 3 that we just saw.
We'll talk more about this in the men's
3.9.
game. The game is done, unfortunately, for the hometown Lady Hawks. They go down to Eltham at 74-68. Before we get to a break, though, boys, let's just have a quick look as you run your eyes over the stats to explain how that 2-game losing streak that Eltham had coming in has ended, and the undefeated start for the year has ended for the Eltham Lady Hawks, the Ringwood Lady Hawks.
Maggie Mulligan, huge. I'm
true.
sure you're about to say the exact same thing, where they're 23 and 15, shooting 75%, throwing 4 blocks as well in there, and she was just unstoppable in the paint.
Look at the shooting percentages from the field, 42% for Eltham, 30 only for Ringwood. And then to the free throw line, they went to the free throw line 20 times. And when you do that, the same as the home team, you've got a good chance of winning a game.
Turnovers also an interesting number. From that point that we mentioned it earlier, where Ringwood kept pretty good care of it, I think it was about 1 for 1 there. Ringwood a few more, in fact. That finished 11-15, but Eltham tightened that gap, and I think that was a big difference.
Incredible, Matt. And I can't wait till the Lady Hawks watch this game back, because you mozzed them. You said they've handled the ball so well. They're on 6 turnovers at the time.
If I'm
we're
good
in
at
the fourth
anything,
quarter,
I'm
and they
good at
turned it
that.
over 5 times down the stretch.
Did it at the free throw line as well, so.
All right, 74-68, 6-point win for the Eltham Wildcats on the road, and that's their first game of our NBL1 doubleheader tonight from Ringwood Basketball Stadium in the books. We'll take a quick break. On the other side of it, well, 2 extremely intense rivals, 2 teams who met last year in a Big V Grand Final series that went 3 games. The men's side of it here at NBL1 will be back with the Eltham Wildcats visiting the Ringwood Hawks next.